All right, what's up, everybody, and welcome back to another episode. Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of 161st and River. And while I have the Notre Dame Miami game on the background, we're going to do a little recap of the White Sox series. And part of the end of this video is going to be a little bit of a preview, kind of, into the next stretch, because the gauntlet is coming up and I want to talk about it because I feel like this is go time for the Yankees, and this is, what they do this season will be defined by how they operate over the next 2 weeks. So let's get right into the series. Game 1. I'm not going to dive too deep into Game 1 and Game 2. Game 3, more so. A little bit more of Game 2, but definitely Game 3. So, the Yankees carried their hot bats onto the south side. Cody Bellinger, Aaron Judge drew a 2-out walk. Cody Bellinger then followed up with a 2-run home run, quick in the first inning, and it was early 2-0 New York, and the lead would never be fully relinquished. Jazz would then hit a home run, and then Anthony Volpe, behind Will Warren, committed an E6 to lead off an inning. That E6 would end up coming back to haunt the Yankees. You son of a... Would end up coming back to haunt the Yankees in a grand slam off the bat of, I believe it was Vargas. How the fuck do you let that happen? Vargas, who would then leave the game injured, so hoping for the best from him, because that was like a really scary injury down at first base in this one, but who would hit the grand slam. That would be it for the offense from the White Sox, was the grand slam in the second inning off Will Warren. Awesome. Warren went 5 innings, gave up 5 hits, 4 runs, none of them were earned. 2 walks, 3 strikeouts. Not the best from Warren at all. Here's his final line. It was not his best, and it was not his worst. His worst is bad, but his best was not that. The 4 runs he gave up shouldn't have even happened, but they did. So, there's that. And then the Yankees really broke it open in the 8th inning. The White Sox committed 3 errors in the game. All 3 of them led to Yankee runs. That would be a theme up until Game 4. In Game 4, that did not happen. Bellinger led off. No, hold on. Goldschmidt led the inning off, reaching on an E5. McMahon had a double. Volpe then with a sacrifice fly. Trent Grisham with a home run there. That was off Cam Boozer. Then a strikeout and a flyout to end the inning. So there was that. And then that was really, good night the lights. Mark Leiter came in, slammed the door. I think he sent him down really quick, 1, 2, 3. That was Game 1. So nice offensive performance. And, it was not really close. Then, the following game, they did the same thing. They followed the same playbook. Let's score 10 runs again because that's fun. So they followed the same playbook. They actually had the bases. Was this the game? One of the games, it must have been Game 1, where the Yankees I'm on the wrong book. I'm on the wrong page. I believe it was this one. They had the bases loaded and nobody out in the first inning, and Ben Rice on the first pitch, son of a fucking cunt, on the first pitch grounded into a 6-6-3 double play, and then Stanton hit it hard, but right at the shortstop to end the inning. So bases loaded, nobody out. They got one run. Then on the other side, opposing, it was Max Fried, right? Oh wait, no, it was Carlos Rodon. Excuse me. Oh my, I have the next starters for the next series. Yeah, it was Rodon. Rodon came on and walked the leadoff guy, but he really didn't walk the leadoff guy. There were some rough calls in that sequence. And then looked good from there. He really dealt the one run he did give up in 6 innings of work. You could argue McMahon should have made that play and just ran right into the guy and tagged him at third, but didn't, and it ended up scoring a run. Other than that, not too much. Tim Hill. We'll talk about Tim Hill. Tim Hill has been something this year. He's been up and down. In this one, he had a rough one. Some of the lefties even got to him a bit. In fact, Meade, I think Meade hit the home run off him today. No, it wasn't. It was Sosa. And Sosa did not face him. Okay. So, but Tim Hill gave up 2 runs this series. That's more than any other reliever combined. And we'll get to another reliever that's shown the ire of Yankee fans and me this season. Double, single, fly out, RBI single, strikeout, ground out. That was the 8th inning. And then they had to then go to Camilo Doval, who threw 25 pitches, right, for the 9th inning. That went single, pop out, fly out, walk, pop out to end the game. Doval looked all right. That's more in line of what he does, which is Joel Sherman had like a line where it's like, yeah, he'll walk 2 and strike out the side in an inning, and because that's just the kind of pitcher he is. Well, he's now allowed four straight appearances in the runs. Anyway, Trent Grisham hits a grand slam off Andreas Gomez early in this one. What was it, the second or third inning? Fourth inning, excuse me. Fourth inning, grand slam off former teammate Andreas Gomez to make it 5-0 at that point. And at that point, Will Venable had a position player pitching the 9th inning in this game. And their bullpen was still in tatters for yesterday and today. Even, it doesn't show, but the bullpen was still in tatters for yesterday and today. Anthony Volpe, this series had a hit in each game, had 2 multi-hit games. It's good to see from him. The defense, the only one defensive play was in game 1 that led to 4 runs. So we could say that, but, other than that, Volpe here in the 6th inning, he popped the bunt up twice. And he did that a couple times in the past few days where he's like popped bunts up. And it's like, bro, what are you doing? Like that should be like your one job is to get a bunt down. And we still don't do that well. Touchback. All right. So 6-1, then Austin Wells, and we're going to talk about Wells, and we're going to talk about Volpe, and then we're going to talk about some other guys. I'm going to do more individual guys in the next one. Ben Rice, who's today wasn't his best day. He's been really good lately, and today he was against the lefty, so that's a little bit tougher. And he had a nice play behind the plate, but then he also had a pass ball that cost it out, but no harm, no foul. Carlos Rodon, really, he looked good, and then he got 2 guys on. The game was pretty much over at that point. And Aaron Boone came out, and he's like, no, I'm staying. I'm finishing this. And I'm like, I was pumped up. covering the game because I'm like, that's what I want from, he's my number 2. That's what I want from my starter. I'm staying in this game. I can get this guy. Now, if he didn't get that guy even a 3-run home run, then yeah, yank him. But let him get him. Let him get. Who was it? Their 6th inning. Was it Will Robertson? No, that's game 3. 6th inning. Let him get Elko, who made one start in the series, and it was that one. Let him get Tim Elko. I get it was first and second, 2 out after the pop out to short. Let him get Tim Elko, and you got him 3 pitches. That impressed me. So Rodon's ERA on the season improves to 3.18, 5 strikeouts and 2 walks. That you like. The Yankees starting pitching did not walk as many batters this series. That could be because the White Sox don't walk a lot, which is true. It could also be, being in the zone a lot more, which needs to happen. Anyway, another laugher. That one was one where it's like, come on, Camilo, can we just get it out here? Okay, so now, Game 3. Game 3 was a little bit more impressive. Shane Smith got the start for the White Sox. Cam Schlittler got the start for the Yankees. The Yankees actually went down scoreless, 1-2-3, the only time in the series they were retired in order in the first inning. It actually took until the 3rd inning for them to get a base runner. It was a Ryan McMahon 2-out double, 1-out double. And then in the 4th inning, Aaron Judge hit a solo home run, Chisholm walked, and that was really it from the offense until Austin Wells hit a solo shot to break the tie in the 7th inning. So what happened was Cam Schlittler on the other side looked really good. He allowed 1 run in 6 innings of work, tied a career high in strikeouts with 8, set a career high in pitches, 100 pitches, 66 strikes. He only walked 1 batter, and he allowed 4 hits, 5 base runners over 6 innings. That's pretty good. He did hit a batter, so 6 base runners. But the only run to come across was on an RBI single by Chase Meidroth in the excuse me, that was not that. The 1 run came. Why do I not have it? Where did Schlittler's 1 run come? Why am I looking at this? Did I just not like? Oh, it must have been on a Mike Tauchman RBI single in the 5th inning. It looks like. Yep, Mike Tauchman RBI single. I have to fix that. Scored Quaro, who led the inning off with a hit by pitch. That was that. And then he pitched a scoreless 6th inning. And like I said, Austin Wells homered. So that would have given Cam the win. And he has looked, really impressive since coming up. Now, I added a note in here after the game. He took a line drive off his arm in the 4th inning and was able, I think it was the 4th, right? No, not the 4th. It was the 5th inning, excuse me. It was right before he gave up the RBI. Off the bat of Brooks Baldwin, went right off his arm. And he's like, all right, whatever. His post game was like hilarious with it. Because Meredith's asking him, hey, what happened there with that? And he's like, let's get a bruise. Might swell a little bit, but you know what? It's fine. It is what it is. I'll be fine. Now, I did note in here and made a note of it. His next start is being pushed back, not due to injury, but because of the team off day tomorrow. His next start will actually be Friday against. That's a nice throw. His next start will be Friday against Toronto. Huge series, but we'll get to that in a second. Devin Williams comes in and immediately blows the house. I mean, you couldn't have scripted it any better that he blew it. I mean, he flat out fucking blew it. Like he's just not. He cannot be in the circle of trust in huge games. He's gotten some big outs, and that was the first time he was scored upon in a very long time. He just cannot be trusted to get big outs at big spots down the stretch right now. You know, every game, and they obviously won this game, but every single game is completely important. Every single one. And to be doing things like that and blowing it and Boone letting him do that in that spot can't happen. Then they go to Luke Weaver, who threw 9 pitches and looked sharp as all hell. He pitched the 8th inning. It was like he didn't even throw the ball. He allowed a double. But once again, 9 pitches to retire the side. You take that every day of the week and twice on Saturdays. And then put him to Bednar. David Bednar comes in and pitches a scoreless 9th inning, which was impressive. Then, after the Yankees do what they do in extra innings and completely flop the bed, this is Volpe. So that's good. Volpe, good bunt. So, and then he doesn't even get in a rundown to get McMahon to second. That's pathetic. That's one. 2, take a pitch in that spot. That's a spot where you have to take a pitch, man. I mean, you really have to take pitches in certain spots. And that was a spot you need to take pitches. Now, it doesn't come back to haunt them. As in the 10th inning, in the 10th inning, bottom of the 10th inning, David Bednar pitched a 1-2-3 inning. What the hell was that? Oh, there's a flag. He was a foul ball off the bat. I forget of who. It might have been Sosa. It was a fly ball off the bat of Sosa that fell foul that everyone in the ballpark thought was fair. And it was not fair from the game being over. And one reporter asked, why didn't Grisham catch the ball? And Boone's like, you don't catch the ball because he had no shot at throwing the runner out of the plate. And that would have been the game. So thank God he didn't. Boone's like, thank God he didn't catch the ball. That would have been the game. So that was kind of a weird moment in the post game. Then the 11th inning came. Trent Grisham was the runner at second base because he struck out to the end of the 10th. You have Paul Goldschmidt line out sharply, but he advanced Grisham. They intentionally walked Judge because why wouldn't you? Bellinger with a good at bat to fight off and get a ribby single. So that was good from Bellinger. And then this is the at bat of the inning. Left on left, opposite field. Jazz is a guy who from what I've observed, has a tendency sometimes to overswing in the moment. And he did today. So, or he didn't yesterday. He did today. And if this loads, I will put the video of his Oppo double to score another run. And that run was pivotal. All right. That run was pivotal in this game. It really was. That was the pivotal run. Why? Because no matter who you pitch for the bottom of the inning, you always, as the away team, have to score 2 in extras. You do. That's just the game. You score 2 in extras on the road, and you should be set up for success. Here should be the double by Jazz. If it's not going to load. if I can find it, I'll get it. Hold on. I want to show this. It was just a beautiful piece of hitting by Jazz. It really, really was. And he's had some big hits this year. I think he's been kind of underappreciated in terms of performance this year. He's been pretty good this season, and it's looking like a good trade from Cashman. So here's the Chisholm double. Volpe followed up 2 batters later with an RBI double of his own to really, 3-run lead. That's even bigger. Like I said, Camilo Duvall came out for the 9th inning, and he locked up. He locked in. So he strikes me as someone, and he strikes me as someone, Camilo, who is more used to pitching in the highest of high leverage than in the lowest of high leverage. And what that means is Camilo Duvall looks like he thrives more in the 9th inning than he does in the 7th. I wouldn't pitch him in the 9th inning if, he pitched very well in the 10th inning there. That's why Brian Cash, this was the plan from Cashman. All right, let you know a little secret here. This was Cashman's plan. You have 4 guys who can close a game. Do you trust all 4 of them? Hell no. I trust 2 of them. And it's Luke Weaver and it's David Bednar. But Devin Williams can close you a game out of necessity. Camilo Duvall can close you a game out of necessity. Boone's reason, I didn't really tune in fully today to the post game. Boone's reason, I'm sure, for using Timmy Hill over Luke Weaver was, well, we didn't want to use Bednar 2 days in a row, even though that is complete BS because you used Camilo 2 days in a row, and Camilo threw more pitches than Bednar did. And you used him 2 days in a row. So was it only you were going to use him if it was a safe situation because the game was tied, you didn't want to use Luke Weaver? Okay, fine. That I can understand and can get behind. No other reasons acceptable to that. Anyways, the plan from the Yankees, even in the offseason, was they know how good Luke Weaver is. We all know how good he is. And he's had his moments, oh, thank God, of not good this year. He's had some bad moments, but he's had so many good moments this year. He's been a really effective pitcher. Notre Dame might come back. He's been a really effective pitcher. And he's been one of the better relievers in baseball, and I think one of the more underrated relievers in baseball, in my opinion. I don't think Luke Weaver gets the recognition he deserves. That's my opinion. And they knew he can close games, but they also know he's a great setup man. He can pitch wherever. They want him to be Mariano from '96. That was the idea. And it's worked. Devin Williams in the 9th did not. So what did they do? Last year, we all said Clay Holmes in the 9th inning is not going to work. We're not going to do anything this year. And they kept saying, Clay's our guy, Clay's our guy, Clay's our guy. This year, same circumstances, different pitcher, right? Same baloney, different bread. This time it was Devin Williams. Not going to work. It's not going to work. You can't have him down the stretch. He cannot be closing games for us. Cashman went out and got you 2 closers. He got you Camilo Duvall, and he got you David Bednar. David Bednar's the guy. He needs to be the one closing games. He should be the closer permanently. Yes, he had a bad outing. I think he just has something in Florida. Maybe he just doesn't like the state of Florida. But, his worst outings in his career have come in the state of Florida. And he's been, locked down everywhere else. San Francisco's gave him a fit. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Here come the Irish. Here we go. Sorry. I have the other thing on. You should have seen before. I had Sunday Night Baseball, and I was actually, for the first part until I went to go cook dinner, I was scoring Sunday Night Baseball on my iPad. I had that on my laptop. I had this on the TV. I During games, I have the game on my TV, and then I have like 4 other games on my laptop, and then I have like my other articles and stuff like that on my monitor, and that's how I cover the games from here. And I have the scorebook on my desk. Um, anyways, Bednar pitched really well. And do I have to put it to Bednar? Wait, yes, he, he pitched great. I mean, he's been really great for the Yankees since coming over. How hard it is to not allow that base runner in the 10th inning when you get him over to third. All right, I go for the 2-point conversion here. When you get him to third, now nice catch by Caballero, jumping catch there, and to send this to the 11th inning, that was impressive. That was really, really, really impressive. And Camilo Duvall looked great in the 10th inning. Now, I said Camilo Duvall worked a 1-2-3 11th inning, allowing the man for man to score, but who cares, right? When you're up by 3 runs, it's called get outs. What I care more about is keep the tying run in the on-deck circle the whole inning. If you allow a sack, okay, they just took the tie score. All right, if you take the sack, let them have the sack fly, let them have a ribby ground out, keep the tying run in the on-deck circle. All right, don't give them any, and he didn't. Do not give them any chance to tie this game or walk this one off. And he did it. To his credit, he didn't. And that's 4 in a row where he hasn't allowed an earned run. It's his longest streak of the Yankee. And he's really looked good progressively in those 4 outings. He's climbing the depths. And I said it here, and I'll say it here. I said it in my article, I'll say it right now. If you have Camilo Duvall pitching the way he's been in his past 4 outings, down the stretch in the postseason, I think that puts the Yankee bullpen in a really big spot. And I'll say this about the starters. Every starter went at least 5 innings, if not more, this series. 5 innings was the minimum, and that was Will Warren. And had the Volpe error not happened, he probably goes longer. Keel went 5 1/3 today. All right. Cam and Rodon both went 6. And what that does is, okay, now our 3 vaunted relievers out of that bullpen, Duvall, Weaver, and Bednar, in a tight game. The only better bullpen in baseball, give it to me. San Diego, maybe. They have Mason Miller and Ranger Suarez setting up. Ranger Suarez closing, Mason Miller setting up. I don't know who else is in that bull. I know Wandy's in that bullpen has been horrible for them this year. I don't know who else is back there. I don't know their numbers, so I can't really say. I mean, from what I've seen in the American League, I mean, Boston's bullpens are right. Weissert and Whitlock are okay. Chapman's beyond. Smart on them locking him down. I'm just mad that he couldn't do this when he was a Yankee. And Larry Rothschild maybe should have taught him how to locate his fastball. No, he didn't get the first down. Larry Rothschild should have maybe taught him to locate his fastball. Because apparently that's what it is. That's who the pitching coach was when Chapman first came to the Yankees. For those who don't know, now it's Matt Blake. Anyways, if you have a bullpen that locked down, if you're the Yankees, you're going to be in a very good spot. You really are. You're going to be in a good spot if you have a bullpen that's going to be nails. Fernando Cruz adds to that. He pitched 3 out of 4 in this series, or 3 out of 4 over the past whatever. He's pitched a lot. He's pitched really well. He pitched great today. He saw 4 batters, came in with an out and a runner on first base. Saw 4 batters, retired all 4 of them, and looked great while doing it. Got the double play, then retired the side. He looked good. All right, I like what I see from Fernando Cruz, and it's been this common theme this year, And when Fernando Cruz is in the bullpen, what? Jesus Christ. Come on. That's a reach. It's been a common theme this year that when Fernando Cruz is available in the bullpen, the bullpen's been much, much, much better. And we've seen that. We've definitely seen that. Yeah, Marcus knows it's fucking bullshit. All right. Anyways, Fernando Cruz has been very good. He had yesterday off. Cam Schlittler has been. Let's talk about Cam for a minute. He's been awesome. If we're sitting here right now coming up with a rotation for a wild card series, it should be that was an awesome block. It should be Will Warren. It should be Max Fried, Carlos Rodon, Cam Schlittler. Will Warren should be relocated to the bullpen in the postseason. Warren allows too many base runners, and his command is so out of whack, and he could turn on a dime. So if the Yankees are really serious about winning a championship this year, Cam Schlittler's the man. I mean, and someone posted on X, he looks like Garrett Cole, looks exactly like him. This kid's going to be an ace, and this kid's got some stones. Like, I don't think anyone recognizes that. This kid's got some stones. He kind of made some comments over the past week. He gets embarrassed and ashamed when he doesn't go 6 innings. He wants to go deep into games. Well, guess what? He's gone 6 innings, 2 runs or less in all of his outings. Or he's worked in the majority of his outings. He's gone, at least 6 in all of his outings. He's given up 2 or less. He's been really good. And he's a guy who I'm confident in giving the ball on Friday in a really big game, in a really big series. Because today's loss, there's not much to talk about. Luis Gil actually had his best outing of the year today. Too bad it ended on a home run and a walk, but he only walked 2. Fernando Cruz, as I said, was great. Tim Hill pitched the 8th inning. I thought Luke Weaver should have pitched the 8th inning. Guess I thought wrong. Whatever. He gave up a solo home run. People are saying he should have walked him. I think that they shouldn't have walked him. I mean, I think they should have walked him. People are saying Boone said we never would have walked him. Other people on X are like, you guys can't say to walk him and then not to walk him. I thought they should have walked him all along. That's just me. I said it at the moment. I think they should have walked him. There was this. I wrote about this on Saturday, so the stats are a little bit off. Anthony Volpe has had a tough year, I think we'd all say. But his hits and his resurgence have come on the road, right? He's been bad at Yankee Stadium this year. Look at the numbers. He's been bad. If you want to read the full, I'm not going to sit here and digest it because I'd rather you read what I wrote. If you go to my link in bio, click that, and then click whatever webpage I have up there. Here, I'll show you. So I have my link in bio right here. Click that, and if you click blog posts, scroll down, it's right there. I suggest you read it. I wonder if it's a mental thing with Volpe. Being at Yankee Stadium and having struggles at Yankee Stadium, is that a thing for him? Anyway, they lost. 8th inning go-ahead home run. Let off the 9th with a home run. Couple good struck balls. It was good to see Judge today actually, show a pulse. I think that's going to be a sign of things to come. And if Judge is going to be Judge over the next, 3 weeks, look out, baseball. Send a warning flag right now to Houston. And he has homers in back-to-back games, and both of them have not been cheapies. And he might be able to get a couple in the Crawford boxes. A couple guys might be able to. Volpe definitely. Anyways, starters for the Houston series. Houston hasn't officially issued their starters. I'll be monitoring that tomorrow. They play another game tomorrow. This is important to note. Framber Valdez really struggled against the Yankees last time out. We remember. Um, so that's important to note. He struggles against the Yankees a lot in his career. That's also important to note. It's very important to note that since the Yankees last saw the Astros, their closer, Josh Hader, has been placed on the IL. Their new closer, Jose Abreu, has struggled against the Yankees in his career a lot. And oh God, he has struggled a lot against the Yankees in his career. And that backs up everyone else in the bullpen. That's important. Their bullpen is in complete shambles right now because they've been taxed so much. They have been taxed so much over the past few weeks. So that's important to note because they play tomorrow. And I don't know who's starting for them tomorrow. I believe it might be a spot starter or a bullpen game or something of the like. It's something, a spot starter or a bullpen game or something tomorrow. I don't have my phone next to me. Let me see if I can look. But that's important. Now, they haven't officially, Yes Network put this out during the game. This is what ESPN had listed, but the Astros, to my knowledge, have not officially released a starter yet. They have Luis Garcia pitching for them tomorrow. It'll be his first start since 2023. He was placed on the injured list with right elbow soreness. Oh, he had Tommy John. Okay, it looks like he had Tommy John in like May of 23, and it's taken him this long to get back. May or June of 23. Whatever. That's going to be his first start for them. But as we all know, with like Tommy John starts like that, it's a shorter outing. That might tax their bullpen. Yankees have an off day. Their bullpen's going to be in very good shape. Everyone's going to be able to go. And you have your ace Max Fried going, who has looked very good in his last two outings and has very much so dealt in that building. So when the Astros do officially release their starters, I'll put the graphic up and I'll also tweet it out. But it looks like it's going to be Framber Valdez against Max Fried, which might be like the pitching matchup of the week. Then it'll be Will Warren, who that's going to be a tough one for him. That's a tough matchup for him because they're going to put good at bats on you. That's going to be a tough outing for him. And Tyler Alexander, who shut the Yankees down completely last time we saw him. And then Carlos Rodon against Christian Javier, who I don't know what his numbers are against the Yankees. Let's check. Yankees use. Let me see. Christian Javier versus Yankees. He's 1-1 with a 1.99 ERA. He has not faced the Yankees since opening day last year. Or the day after opening day. It was right around opening. It might have been opening day. I know the Yankees won this game. It was not opening day. It was the day after opening day. They got to the Astros bullpen. That's right. Yep. Now I remember this. This was on Apple. I remember this. Rodon started it. Weaver got the win. Okay. I remember that game. So, not the best numbers off them, but there are numbers off them. We have a history with them. Now, the bigger series. Ooh, what's this going to be? We're going to go for a field goal here. 1,000% making this. Anyways, then you go home to face the Blue Jays. Yep, of course they made it. That's going to be the series that's going to decide the American League East. That series will decide the East. And if they can take 2 or 3 from Houston, yes. I think they have to win the Houston series for a confidence thing. They are 7-0 in their past 7 matchups in Houston. There's that. Then they head home to face Toronto. It'll be Cam Schlittler. This is where we are in here. I'll pull this on. Oh, hold on. I'll pull this on the screen. This is where we are in the season. That I have a spreadsheet with the rotation. The Yankees have 2 off days after tomorrow for the rest of the season. I mean, I get there's only 1 month. This is where the rotation is. It'll be Schlittler, Heel, and Fried. That's actually, not bad from the Yankees. Heel has not seen Houston yet this year. They put the ball in play a lot, so that might be better for him because he might not walk as many guys if they put the ball in play early in the count. Fried, that's a good matchup at home for him. And Cam, he's faced Houston before. I believe that was his shortest outing. Because, once again, I believe that one he had command issues. I don't remember, though. Obviously, as I go up, I fill in opponent starter. So, like, Valdez, Alexander, and then I do this more so late in the season to kind of predict who's going to be starting. Those games, I know for the Sunday game, it's Gausman. I know. I forget who they have for the Saturday game. I know this one is Shane Bieber. The Saturday game, I might be Jose Barrios. Obviously, they have nothing official yet, but ESPN predicts who's next. I know Friday is Shane Bieber. That I know because they intentionally pushed him back so he could have the start. Schedule. Let's see. Friday against Toronto. Oh, Chris Bassett. Okay. Oh, wait. Schlittler versus Gausman. Oh, they changed their rotation. Okay. They changed their rotation. This is not what it was earlier today. It'll be Schlittler versus Gausman. It'll be Heel versus Scherzer, who had a bad outing the other day. And then it'll be Fried versus Bassett. I like that matchup. And then it looks like I think we avoid Tariq Skubal in the Detroit series. It seems like we avoid Skubal. Don't know who's going to go that game against the Tigers. That's September 11th. I know it's Schlittler, but I believe we avoid them. I don't know. Obviously, that's going to come out in the next few days, but I believe we do avoid Tariq Skubal, which is huge. I believe that's Jack Flaherty. Don't quote me on it. And I do believe we do see Joe Ryan in the Minnesota series, but obviously, this is barring injuries and all that sort of stuff. But I do like to plan and have a thing here just for me to look at and kind of refer to. But the next week, and then the Boston series is going to be Heel, and Heel will probably go up against Giolito. It'll probably be the same. Heel versus Giolito. Fareed versus Bayo, and Warren versus Crochet. That's probably what it's going to be. Which means in how unlucky the Yankees are that in the 4 series they played this season against Boston, they got to see in all 4 series. What's this little dance? They got to see in all 4 series. Miami won. That's the stupid dance. All right. Horrible. Come back to tie it and still lose. All right. Anyways, that's like a Yankee game. You come back to tie it and you still lose and get embarrassed. All right. Anyways, next week, pivotal. Absolutely pivotal this next week. And they need to start winning against good teams. Yeah, cool. They beat bad teams. They beat really bad teams. I mean, the White Sox aren't good. I know they won today. They're not good. Okay? They beat really bad teams this week. Can you go into Houston and take 2 or 3? They're not that good, and they've been really struggling since leaving Yankee Stadium. And then can you come home and defend your home territory against your division rivals, please? That'd be cool. That'd be really something if you can come home and defend your home field for 6 games against division rivals, and they have no choice but to take 2 or 3 from Detroit because they put themselves in a hole against Detroit earlier in Detroit. And if they're facing Flaherty, they hit him pretty well when they were in Detroit in that final game. I believe they hit him and were able to win the game. And Fried pitched really well that day. I think Ben Rice hit a 2-run home run or something to break the tie or something. I believe so. Don't quote me on it. I feel like I remember that. That was the game that Devin Williams couldn't get out of his own way, and then they had to go and get Mark Leiter, who threw 2 pitches to get a pop out. That sounds right. Anyway, big stretch coming up. Then Baltimore's really scuffled as of late. I mean, like a lot. You see them 7 times the rest of the year. They always give the Yankees fits. But they've been scuffling. You see the White Sox again. The White Sox are going to be out of it. They might have some kids for September call-ups up that you haven't seen yet. But, whatever at that point. They're at the stretch right now where it's stack as many wins as you possibly can. Off day tomorrow. In Houston, big series this week in Houston against a Astros team. That's going to be test number 1. They take 2 or 3 against Houston, okay. The biggest test is going to be against your division rivals. If you're able to take 2 or 3 from Toronto, and you're able to somehow go into Fenway Park and take 2 or 3 from that team, they might win this division. They might just pull this out. I don't think they will, but they might just pull this out. That's going to do it for today. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe, and let's go Yankees.